Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show where we love Seattle Pro Sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and today we got another 7 round Seattle Seahawks mock draft. And yes, this one is going to be quite different from the ones we've been looking at in the past because today the Seahawks traded for quarterback Sam Howell. They signed linebacker Tyrell Dotson. So some needs have been met. Uh, that only confirms that Geno Smith is the starter going forward. Sam Howell, he is your backup quarterback. You don't need to be drafting one in this year's draft. And he's still young enough, just 23 years old. He's the kind of guy that you can still be developing over the next 2 years of his contract to see if he can be your starter at the end of his contract and Geno's contract. Uh, both of those guys will be, playing for their next contract over the next 2 years, and who the Seahawks want to keep around if either of them. And then, getting one of the most up and coming linebackers in the NFL. That's going to change the way we look at this mock draft as well. I mean, he was the number one ranked linebacker on Pro Football Focus. If you're into that, so that should tell you how much this guy is developing right now. He just got done with his rookie contract, and we're getting him here. We don't have the details on what his contract is looking like here, but I imagine it's got to be somewhat of a decent contract, given the type of year that he just had. Okay, so maybe it's not going to be too great because he didn't have a lot of previous years, starting a lot of games previous to that. So, maybe he might just be getting paid for like a 1 year wonder. Okay, now we'll give you like just a average contract and you can prove it from there. But we don't know the details yet, so we're not sure on that. But that is definitely going to affect the way we look at this draft. And so let's get into it. Now, I actually haven't done any. It was a very busy day today. I was off today, but had to drive the kids back and forth to school. They had an assembly and a parade today at their school that I had to go to. My oldest son does theater, so I had to like drop him off and pick him up from theater practice. Very busy day. So I didn't actually do any mock drafts today from the time that these trades were made. So I don't know if this simulator has been updated and has the most recent change in the draft picks. I guess we're about to find out, because we did trade, or we did swap picks with the Commanders in that Sam Howell trade. Okay, we got some trade offers here, and then because we made that trade of Sam Howell, and we trade like the picks we swapped, we ended up moving back in the draft with both picks. I want to try to move back up into certain situations, and right now, with the picks that are there, oh my goodness, the Steelers in this situation, they are, they're offering that situation where we move back to 20 and then we get their 51 for our 102. So that's quite a jump, but Carolina is also offering to swap with us 16 for 33, 81 for 39, and we get 65. So we are our second pick is moving way up in the board into that second round, and we're getting a pick basically a second round pick, right? Because that's like the first pick of the third round. I think I am going to accept this one and see how this plays out. Because I would love to have two picks at the top of the second round here and see how that would affect our draft if we did it that way. Okay, so at this point, what we're looking at is where you know the first pick of the second round, and okay, we still got Christian Haynes here. This is still a need for us. Offensive guard out of UConn, one of the best guards in the draft, I think. And again, where it's just like John Schneider said, they're getting overpaid and overdrafted. Now in this situation, we didn't overdraft because we traded back far enough that we're not feeling like we are overdrafting for a position that is still of great need to us. Got a couple more trade offers here that I am not going to accept because at pick 39 here, I still see some players that I like. I mean, look, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. are still here in this mock, and we're not taking them because, again, we got our backup quarterback who's younger than both of them today in the trade. So we're no longer looking at a quarterback at this point in the draft. But we still we just got Rayshon Jenkins, right? And Rayshon Jenkins and Julian Love are both utility safeties in Mike McDonald's system. But a Tyler Nubin, I think this could be your. This is your your straight up safety in this system. Instead of just the utility guy that is going free safety, strong safety, nickel corner, whatever. Tyler Nubin, he's your guy that you can say, no, this is our safety. He did talk about them playing potentially more, one high, two high sets. Tyler Nubin, he's going to be your guy that does that in this one. So that is who we're going with at pick 39 here. Our next one is going to come at 65. Again, we got this is one of the ones that we got from Carolina. And let's see. Ooh, okay. Tight end is not a big need for us. A couple of good tight ends here, but not a big need for us now that we both got. We re-signed Noah Fant and signed Farrell Brown. We did get a linebacker today, but that is still a need to me. And let me see my picks here. Okay, it does look like now that I actually am looking here at the numbers, it looks like they did indeed update this mock simulator already, so they have the most up to date draft picks that the Seahawks have. So we have the ones we traded for here, and then our next one isn't until 102, which is what we got from swapping with the Commanders today in that trade. Okay, so let's take a look. What we got here, again, just because it just makes too much sense. I really, really like Cedric Gray, great linebacker, but Junior Colson, right? I just think it makes so much sense. It makes too much sense for this system. It makes too much sense to pass up on. So if you can get him, and I know in this simulator they have Junior Colson ranked 74, so they have him ranked being a third rounder. But you hear a lot of talk about Junior Colson going like at the top, of the third round, or potentially being somewhere in the second round. So again, another reason why, after the moves that were made today, I would think the Seahawks would be even more likely now to trade back from that number 16 pick. But here at pick 65, we're getting Junior Colson, getting that linebacker here. And our next pick is going to come at 102, that pick that we swapped with the Commanders. And if it fell this way, I mean, come on. We need more depth across our defensive line. We need potential starters across that defensive line. We don't know. Is Draymond Jones, not, it wasn't horrible. Maybe he will improve to what you expect in the Mike McDonald system, and maybe he will improve to get the value that you are paying him on that contract. But if not, you sure would like to have a Braden Fisk on your team for that depth and for that development in a Mike McDonald system. And maybe he is the guy that you were hoping that Draymond Jones was going to be when he came here. So we are taking Braden Fisk here at pick 102. That's a steal. Okay, and then our next pick here is coming in at 118. And, okay, well, I mean, like I said, not you know what? Well, this is still to me a major need for us. And if Brandon Coleman's here, then we're taking Brandon Coleman. Okay, so Brandon Coleman is here. That's who we're taking. I almost went another way there for a second, but again, that's just too much of a need. And Brandon Coleman's still somebody I consider good enough at that pick. That we're going to get him there. All right, and then our next pick is 179, and in this range here, okay, well, let's see. Okay, yes. So in this range here, what I'm seeing that I like, again, we got our two starting tight ends. Most NFL teams are carrying, anywhere from 3 to sometimes 5 tight ends you see on a roster. So we will take Tanner McLaughlin here, out of Arizona. Again, having another very good receiving threat type of tight end. Next one is going to come in at 192. Let's see. Okay. Aha. All right. Here we go. Sion Vaki, safety out of Utah. Again, we still do need to fill out that safety room, right? We got Rayshawn Jenkins. We already have Love. I did already draft Newbin in this as well, but guess what? Every team has to have multiple backups for multiple safety positions. So if we can get Vaki here, we are getting Vaki. And then our next pick is 235 coming up here at the end. And okay, all right. Well, this next pick I am going to do into dedication to one of my friends, who I know really likes this quarterback. And do we need a quarterback now? No, but you can bring in a quarterback like this. Somebody who I don't expect, if you put him on the practice squad, that a lot of teams are going to be coming after him at this point. But he's somebody that you can develop, and this one just for fun, dedicated to my friend Glenn. Let's go get quarterback out of Western Kentucky, Austin Reed. Okay. Just because he's there, just for fun for this one. All right, so there you go. Here is our draft. All right, we traded back. We needed to trade back. We needed to get more value because again, we got our backup quarterback of the future, maybe somebody that develops into the starter of the future. But that cost you moving back in the draft. So we wanted to pick up more picks at the top of the draft. So we traded back from 16, got our 33 pick, first pick in the second round. We took Christian Haynes. And then 6 picks later in that deal, we get safety Tyler Nubin. Again, he's can be the guy that is patrolling the middle of the field for you while Jenkins and Love are doing their thing all over the field in different various positions across Mike McDonald's system. Then Junior Colson coming in at pick 65 to be one of the other linebackers that you're going to need to have on the roster. So at this point, we still don't have very many, even with signing one today finally. Braden Fisk, I think this is somebody that everybody's been watching a lot of tape on lately. They watched him test at the combine, and people have really been loving what he's done in showing the kind of athleticism that he has at the position. So you'd be feeling great to get him at pick 102. Brandon Coleman, you are, again, still needing to shore up that offensive line that still has a lot of questions about injuries and who's going to be playing what position at this point. Again, Tanner McLaughlin, tight end in Arizona, getting yourself another good, young, cheap tight end to be a receiving threat. Sion Vaki out of Utah. Another very versatile. They don't have his stats on here, but a very versatile safety that will be very very athletic and see if you can to develop him more. That's been a staple of the Seahawks in the past. Pete Carroll isn't here anymore, and that was his specialty. So we're going to see how Seahawks can develop defensive backs going forward from this point. But I don't feel like Mike McDonald's going to have any problem with that, just based on what we saw him do really across all positions with development over there in Baltimore. And then just our fun pick, end of the draft, why not take a flyer on a quarterback and make sure you bring a quarterback into camp that can compete, for that. You could say he's competing for that backup job, or, he's just that, again, remember about the rules in the NFL now where you're allowed to have that third quarterback carried on your roster. That doesn't count against the active things. We can think that to, the 49ers and whining about how their quarterbacks got hurt a couple of years ago and how they feel like they could have won a Super Bowl if they had a quarterback on the roster still. So he's the guy that you can carry around your practice squad, carry around into games, and make sure that you, have that quarterback that you can bring in at any time if need be, as your backup at that point. Okay. So there you go. There's your draft. Let me know what you would grade this one. A, B, C, D, F. What do you grade it? How would you feel if this is how it played out? Again, don't just grade me. Grade just the scenario. Imagine in your head this is what the Seahawks did. How would you feel about it at the end of the draft? Okay, but yeah, there you go. That is going to be the end of this one. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, leave those comments. If you're listening on the podcast version, Apple Podcast, Spotify, please hit the follow button and subscribe button. And thanks for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken. So take cover, because with the Sea of Sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.